Evening VC, Dave here. I had just posted a video for the Blue Note project, Freddie Hubbard Hub Tones. In my haste, I had forgotten that Mr. Buttery had already recorded a video for that record and is going to be making his first contribution to the project. So, of I think about 20 viewers that already saw my video, you get another take on that record. And for those that have already commented, like Rob in Boston, sorry, don't get confused. That's it was going to happen at some point. We'd had a long break, and I had completely forgot that Buttery did it, so I'd jumped the gun. Any case, we got some pickups here that we're going to share tonight. First up, pick this up at Tip Top Daily Market. Their world section is banging now. George Ben, self-titled, originally released in 1969. Not going to get better artwork on a cover. I mean, this is amazing. Last name Al Berry is the artist. Great bossa nova record. Not his best record, but very, very enjoyable. The first and third tracks on side one are probably my favorite. Criolla and Cade Teresa. I believe he's singing in Portuguese here. And then on the back, on the second side, Take It Easy, My Brother Charles, he sings in English on that track. But yeah, and 20 some bucks, so very happy with this Verve reissue from 2018. There's another reissue out, and I've seen it around, and it's 42 bucks. Maybe it's an audio file. I don't know what would warrant $42 for a reissue, but that's a tad asinine, especially when you can probably get an original from Brazil for maybe not too much more than that. So yeah. Up next, an absolute grail from Mr. Belson, Record Bug. Goes by Wantless Records on Instagram, so check him out. He's been posting nothing but heat. This one had been on my want list the longest of any of the reggae. Hugh Mundell, Africa Must Be Free by 1983. I believe this was released in late 70s, maybe 79. What to say? This is up there for me with like Horace Andy Skylarking and Johnny Osborne Truce and Rights. Just beautiful Rasta music, freaking roots reggae. Augustus Pablo's here, and I keep saying that. He's on all the best records. Piano, organ, strings, piano from him. The rhythm guitar players are great on this. Clayton Downey, Jeffrey Chang. This is dope. Everybody should have this record. Alright, let's see. This one took a while to find as well. To track down one in the US. I've got 4 of his records on my want list, and this is the only copy of any of them that's popped up here in the States. So, and I'm really hesitant about ordering from overseas right now with COVID amped back up into oblivion. Farouk Zibay with Northwoods Improvisers, Infa, on the Cubico label from 06. Free spiritual jazz, just beautiful, beautiful stuff. Fantastic. And I gotta thank Sherv and of course James at the channel Rufus, who James really, I think, was the first to show, well, maybe Sherv showed some fruit prior, but I don't know, but James, one of his first videos, highlighted this artist, and I had no clue who he was, and I'm very grateful to the two of those guys for getting me involved with this, because, man, that's, and the cool thing about this record, I should probably show it, a couple things. First of all, it's on lovely gold swirl, some cool labels. Next is the seller included a CD that has bonus cuts that didn't make the album. That he had burned me a copy, that he had gotten it from the owner of Cubico Records and threw that in as a bonus. He didn't have to do that, went out of his way. That's really goddamn cool. It was not a cheap record, so that was appreciated for something extra getting thrown in, but highly recommended. Next batch of records here are got 4 David Murray records. I only had one record of his that I found at Carolina Soul, and some crazy Italy pressing, and got a couple of his Indian Navigation releases. So this is Live at the Lower Manhattan Ocean Club, Volume 1 and Volume 2. So these are original pressings, and they're 1970. This one's from 78. I believe the next one was released the following year in 79. Lester Bowie on trumpet, Fred Hopkins bass, Philip Wilson drums, David Murray's on tenor and soprano sax here. He's great shit. And happy to get these. Like I said, I didn't have one David Murray record, and then this one too, David Murray Octet Home on the Black Saint label. It's an 82 original Italy pressing. This has got Henry Threadgill on alto, Butch Morris on cornet, and some of the arrangements on the live albums are from Butch Morris. Very underrated player. Goddamn, he's good. David Murray plays bass clarinet on this as well as tenor, a la Eric Dolphy, as far as on bass clarinet. Steve McCall percussion. There's some great players on this. George Lewis trombone. Yeah, that's a great one. And then also on Black Saint from '85, Children. And this one's Don Pullen is on this lineup on piano. Don Pullen is just such a badass. And yeah, this one I've got open so I can show you the label. Everybody should know this label. Beauty, clean. Black Saint label. Coolest label in jazz. And so yeah. Another jazz monster, Cecil McBee Sextet with Chico Freeman, Compassion. I know it's probably a favorite of Karen's. McBee is his boy. 1977, Live at Sweet Basil. Some great recordings have come from that club in New York City, like Dollar Brand and others. Famadou Don Moy on percussion here from Art Ensemble. Steve McCall drums, of course Cecil on bass. Chico Freeman soprano and tenor. Joe Gardner trumpet and Dennis Mormon on piano. Flames. Heater. Next up is a record that I had been hoping to stumble across for 26 years. 26 years. 1994, I'm in college at Fredonia in New York, and saw the first time I ever saw a snowboard video. And the soundtrack in it was freaking killer. And I wrote 3 bands down, their names down. Pole was the first band I wrote down. Mock was the second, and Everclear was the third. And so I started seeking out their stuff. Now back then, no internet as far as like what we have now. If you're trying to find records, you've got to go to record stores, fucking period. And so we had a record store in Fredonia. I think it was Record Giant or something like that. And I went there, and Be right back. Sorry about that. So went there and put in an order for Everclear Nervous and Weird EP on CD, because they had a list, a big list in the store of stuff you could order, and never came. And I walked in there one afternoon. I was like, "What's going on with it?" And they said, "Well, we ended up having to call Tim Kerr Records, and they got back. They called me back, and the guy at Tim Kerr ended up having to go to Art's basement and get a copy. So this copy came directly from Art Alexakis in the band's basement. That's how I got that. That's how you had to get shit back in the day. But as far as pull and mock, never find anybody that could order any of that stuff or whatever. I didn't even know what they had out. And the other day, Dave Sequoia Flame, his channel, he's been posting a lot of punk 7 inches he's been picking up from Florida bands, from a lot of them from the 90s. And the first EP he showed on 7 inch was, by all means, there was Pull Regret EP. I was looking for CDs or whatever I could find from this band. I didn't know. This is the only thing they ever put out, was this 7 inch EP around 1994 out of Tampa, St. Pete. And this is killer. Red Wax. And just 4 songs that just fucking kill it, dude. This is great hardcore from that time. This is one of the types of bands that my band that I roadied for at the time, 5 Times Down, we would have totally played gigs with this band. Hell, who knows? We might have played gigs with this band. Jesus, that time was a blur. We used to play Jackrabbits, I think was the club in Jacksonville. We played with Limp Bizkit. Yeah, this is good shit. Rage, first track, such a great track, and that was the track in the snowboard video. How the hell they got on that, who knows? But I was very happy to find that. 26 years, and there it is. Because like even on Discogs, that's like the 5th band name Pull. Like Pull with, if you didn't search Pull with the parentheses 5, I would have never found it on there. Thanks, Dave. That's a big one. That is killer shit. And then this afternoon, I'm minding my own business at work, and John Digital Gramophone sends me a photo of this sitting in the used section at Lunchbox. And I'm like, "Are you getting it?" And he said, "Nah." So I said, "Well, I'll head over there after work." So I go in there, and there's a line outside because they're only letting 5 people in at a time. And so the guy in front of me immediately heads to there's 3 little sections of used. He heads over there, so I always just let whoever's there have at it, and then, courtesy, jump in a row right next to somebody. So he pulls out what I was there to get, and I was like, "Oh, well, just saved me $30. And but I was kind of bummed. And he's walking around, he's getting a giant stack of records, and then sure as shit, 10 minutes later he goes and puts it back. So I ended up getting it anyway. And that's the Sonic Youth Goo 4 LP box set. Now the cheapest one on Discogs is $55 plus shipping, which would be probably $15, so $70. And this was just sitting there. This is dead mint, $30. Scott's the man when it comes to selling used, I'll tell you what. And this is freaking cool. Let's see if I here. Cover. It's got a booklet. I think is, yeah, it's a cool booklet with some photos. And it's got it's 4 LP. And it's got demos and Beyond Delicious black vinyl. Someone's got to say it. I'm missing my meat sticks. But yeah. So that's what we got. Hope everybody's well out there. Peace.